Jason.
Kissed by a rose on the grave. I've been kissed by a rose on the grave. Oh, if I should be kissed by a rose on the grave. I've been kissed by a rose on the grave. There is so much a man can tell me, so much he can say. You remain my power, my pleasure, my pain. To me, you're like a grown addiction that I can't deny. Now won't you tell me, is that healthy, baby? Did you know that when it's slow, my eyes become a large and the light that you shine can't be seen.
Hello everybody, how's everyone doing today?
Hopefully it stays pretty.
Please stay close to yourself.
They have an umbrella. Yeah. It is supposed to rain today.
Remember to get me on the all close shot.
I will do that. Hold on. There was about 20 Antifa here across the road right behind that bus. SPD is adjacent across the street from both the demonstrators and Antifa. Gosh dang it. Yep, Antifa's walking away. Antifa's walking away right now, so everything. Yeah, Antifa's walking away. They might think they probably think it's not really their day to shine, I guess. I haven't seen that guy in a while. Don't worry, I do plan on staying safe. I'm with Jason from Bonsai News here, and we basically have a plan to dip out safely if anything was to go up in flames. But yeah, really, there's not. But like I said, Antifa has basically walked away right now. They don't know. Basically, they left they left like 30 seconds ago. There was about maybe 20 of them. And that's good. Yeah, they were right there across the street, and then they just marched right down that way. So literally, I think any form of danger that might have been a problem today has basically dissipated on its own. So yeah, basically I don't think there's any worries. Where'd Jason go? Jason! Where did Jason go? Oh well.
Well, I saw fireworks from the freeway and behind closed eyes. I can't make them go away because you were born on the 4th of July. Freedom ring was something on the surface.
Ah, there he is.
Black block was here. Here they are. They're on the outside.
Oh wait, did they come around the block? Oh, yep, they're here. Antifa just went around the block and came across the street. Yeah, Antifa literally went around the block and crossed the street. Why the police aren't right here right now. Hi Snooks, nice to see you. Look who is present with us right now, Snooks. One of our favorite people, and another one of our favorite people right here. Thank you, Snooks, I appreciate that. But yeah, Antifa literally just walked right around the block and came up behind us between these two buildings. And now the police are just right here, not doing anything. No, Snooks, Robert is not here right now. Robert is in Woodland right now with a bunch of other people at a fundraiser for Tiny. But I don't believe Rob is gonna be live streaming the fundraiser. But yeah, if you can get in contact with Rob and tell him about what's going on right now, yeah, that'll be fine with me. Hey JC, how's your day going so far? I think the police might. Oh, sorry, Jason. The police might do something, but who knows? around 15 Antifa out here right now.
If I could have a Wi-Fi connection. I know. I thought about that for that other.
And right now, Jason Rance is out here as well for his website. Now the police were right there. Now they disappeared. That's probably the better option. Antifa's walking away.
Tens of thousands on my right, thousands by my side. Between good and evil, watching our fists collide. Battling for our freedom now, to the streets we ride. Flags waving all around, pictures full of pride. This is what we make a stand, no one give or take. March around the Capitol, so the city gates. Putting pressure on their necks until the truth breaks. All walls looking up, shit, take out all the stakes. Star Spangled Banner, got a plan, got a crowd. People from all walks of life, filling up the crowd. Feeling Constitution, many warriors. All right, everybody, let me see you guys be in control for a while. Enough for tyranny, we come to take our country back. For all citizens, white, red, brown, and black. Return to we're here to celebrate freedom! We keep doing what you do.
Alright, they're huddled in a corner right now. No, the Antifa has not actually left. They're just across the street right now in a little huddle. And I believe right now they're discussing what they're gonna do next. But yeah, right now they're just discussing. Looks like right now they're just discussing what they might do next. They're probably gonna stay here for the whole event, or they might decide just to vacate. I mean, the best, there's two good scenarios that could possibly just come out. And I mean, the best scenario is that Antifa just leaves and doesn't come back. But the second best scenario is, you know, like I said, sorry, I'm stumbling over my own words. The second best scenario they can do is basically, you know, not engage, but just shadow. the demonstrators, that's basically the second best. But obviously the preferred is that they just left. Well, there are cops around. The bike cops right there. You have more cops right here. You have more bike cops across the street at the Starbucks. And there's Jason Rance. Yeah, you got cops right here. You got cops across the street, cops behind me. So the cops are here. And if anything, I would say it might be enough cops for Antifa crowd of 15 people. But there's a lot more demonstrators here than there is Antifa, so they probably won't even be that successful in the first place. So who knows? Alright, where did Jason go? Yeah, where did Jason go? Yeah, I wonder where Jason went. Okay, where did you go, Jason? Oh, there he is. There's more motorcycle cops showing up now. Looks like they might, yeah, they're parking to actually come here. Looks like it. Doggy. Oh, doggy. Oh, it looks like Antifa's actually leaving. Yeah, Antifa's actually leaving. Looks like it. Alright, well, I guess that's a good sign. Antifa's actually leaving. Let's see, where are they gonna go? Where are they going to go? Probably around the corner and demask.
They want to say something.
Let's begin now. I woke up this morning and I said, you know, waiting for a good day to happen, you know, waiting around the ups and downs, you know. I just said, look.
Route is? The mall. All right. Thank you.
What are you at? Free press media?
He's a friend of mine. Yep. I actually drove with him.
Okay.
Oh, you guys have two of these?
I have 4 of them.
4 of them.
I have one in my camera bag in the window, and usually carry one in my wallet. This one in this one. I lost one somewhere.
He says, yes, I believe I am able to.
They said the mark was 2 o'clock.
What time is it now? It's just a little past 1. Hey, Oceania, no problem.
I can't even get on Facebook anymore because I have to like.
Oh, I'm not monetized. Yeah, I'm not monetized on any platform as far as I know. Well, that's not entirely true. I am monetized on Rumble and Odyssey and Minds, but that's it. I don't take money from these big tech companies. I never will, and I never have and never will. And I have thought about my own website, but on my last stream I said I'm gonna be stopping live streaming probably permanently in mid-April because I have things coming up that I want to focus my attention completely on. Yes, my Cash App link in the description of the video is good for donations.
Stay in the background. But I mean, he had to observe that, you know, there was no issues. I guess that's probably
Yeah, they were terrible.
he did that video.
Oh, I forgot one thing. There is some good news is that even though I will stop streaming, I will be trying to write columns on my Substack and my Minds page, and even my Bastion page. So if you go on the link tree, oh gosh, is it even in this? I don't think it is. Yeah, I don't think my link tree is. I don't think I put my link tree in this, but if I did it, it is there. But yeah, if you want to continue following me, follow me on Minds.com, on Bastion if you're into the whole crypto thing. Follow me on Substack as well. I'm going to be posting my columns there for people to view. I mean, so far I have one column written on Substack. I have 3 more column ideas. I'm trying to work on those right now, and I'm not 100% sure when those might come out.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
It's okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's been quite a while.
You know what Jason is?
He's right there.
We're going to take you something we're about to start. Make sure his live stream is working because I just got a text that it wasn't. It was, that was from the CHD guy. Okay. But we want to start about in a couple minutes if you can hear it. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Hey Jason, that lady over there says they're about to start.
Okay. So that's a Young Democrats or something guy right there, the guy in the suit.
Really, that's him?
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of that footwear looks familiar from that Black Bloc crowd.
Yeah, he's basically Black Bloc. He's basically Antifa.
Let me see, am I still... Nope, I'm not charging. Dang it. Yeah, my phone's not charging, dang it. Okay, hold on, I gotta... Dang it.
When I flew sleep, it was confusing. Cause all I wanted to do was be the Bruce Lee of Bruce Lee, abused me. Use it as a tool when I boost me. Hit the lottery, what I gave up and get was bittersweet. It's like winning a huge leap. I'm fine cause I think I'm getting so rich, I need a shrink. I'm beginning to lose sleep. One sheep, two sheep, going cuckoo and kooky is kooky. But I'm actually weirder than you think. Cause I'm friends with the monster, the son of my bed. Get along with the voices inside my head. You're trying to save me.
Jason, can you go into my small path right here and get my charger? Thank you. Alright, hold on, I need to switch out my chargers.
Once told me to seize the moment and don't squander it. Cause you never know when it all could be over tomorrow. So I keep conjuring. Sometimes I wonder where these thoughts ponder.
Yeah, ponder it till you want. There's no point if you losing your mind the way you want.
I think you were wandering off down yonder and stumbled on to Japan Bartran. Cause I need an intervention. There's to intervene between me and this monster to save me from myself and all this conflict. Cause of everything that I love is killing me and I can't conquer it.
Testing. Hello, hello. Welcome to Seattle. Welcome to freedom. Hello. Let's all join Abby with the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed while the twilight's last whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched
you, Abby. That was amazing. We'll have you back on stage in just a minute. Wow. Here we are in the middle of Seattle, standing for freedom, you guys. This is it. This is it. This is our stand. We showed up. Let's make it louder for freedom. One more time so they can all hear it. Freedom! Awesome, you guys. I'll be back to speak again, but I just wanted to say hello to everyone and give a warm thank you to the City of Seattle and the parks for helping us out here, and to the Seattle Police Department. Just real quick, you guys. The mandates have eased off, no doubt, but they are still here. There are places where masks are still required. We are still working with employees that are facing mandates at work, so there is a lot of work to be done. But recently we have been asked, why are you even coming here? Aren't we free already? Right. But yet we can celebrate the progress toward victory, toward freedom, victory for freedom. And that's what we're here today for, is to celebrate freedom. Raise your hand if you were here with me 2.5 months ago, January 8th. Yeah. We had our largest March for Freedom on January 8th. And my, how things have changed. At that point, we didn't know what was coming. We were still subject to a full mask mandate, so things changed pretty quickly. So let's not forget that, and let's not lose sight of more progress to be made. Let's look back even further. Who was with me 1 year ago, almost to the day, with the March for Freedom, the first one on Mercer Street? We've been marching for 1 year. We've done over 20 marches in the Seattle area and in neighboring cities. And my, how things have changed. 1 year ago, we didn't know where this was going to go, how long it was going to go. But we were just a bunch of people showing up to march. And my goodness, look at us today. This is amazing. So I'll be back to speak more. But what we have for you today is a special presentation. Big thanks to Abby and Stacy for showing up today. They are friends of mine, and you guys, we have quite a show for you today. So we're gonna be here presenting, and then we're gonna do a march for freedom. All right, I'm gonna turn it over to Abby now. She is a very talented local singer and a friend of mine, and my goodness, I'm just gonna turn it over to her. She knows what she's doing. Abby London, you can find more information at her website.
Thank you. So, you guys know when you like see some event happen and then you kind of already know what people are gonna say and do based off like what the media is telling them to do. Can anybody relate to that? Yeah. This song, go ahead and start it. It is called Hysteria, and that's what it's about. There you go. I didn't know that term when I wrote this, so it's called Hysteria.
Can you hold this for a second? Thank you.
And I think it can apply to a lot of different things. I originally wrote it about gun control, but then I was like, oh, I gotta get this out before like something else happens. But there's like always something else that the song can apply to. So it just covers so many different things. The first words are you caught up in hysteria? Repeating the news. Are you caught up in hysteria? Do you know what is true? Are you caught up in hysteria? Who's controlling you? And then the next song that I'm going to do is actually for the Umbrella people, so I really hope they come back because I made it for them, and that one is going to be called Whisper. Here we go. in hysteria, repeating the news? Are you caught up in hysteria? Do you know what is true? Are you caught up in hysteria, repeating the news? Are you caught up in hysteria? Who's controlling you?
Someone's asking if you have PayPal.
How about being a new kind of person?
Answer to the question, no, I do not have a PayPal.
Beyond believing to know what's best, more than reacting to the outcome, preferring to be stabbed and shot to death. Are you caught up in hysteria, repeating the news? Are you caught up in hysteria? Are you thinking things through? Are you caught up in hysteria? Do you love yourself? Are you caught up in hysteria? Do you know yourself? Have you considered pulling back the curtain? Identify the masterminds to blame. Wouldn't you rather really know for certain before throwing all your rights away? Yeah, you're not wishing for the end of the world. Yeah, you are wishing for the end of the world so you can make a bunch of money, so you can make a quick buck. You never feared your rulers. You don't see why they would screw you, like all you are is money. All you had was dumb luck. Are you caught up in hysteria, repeating the news? Are you caught up in hysteria? Do you know what is true? Repeating the news. Repeat the news. Repeat the news. This next one is called Whisper. And where did our friends go?
There you go.
They ran!
They don't want to hear the truth.
Oh, this is for them. Okay, well, I hope they change their hearts. Whisper to us what you want. We're not afraid of your black bloc. Voice calls from screaming night and day, screaming you hate the USA. You say you hate the USA. You wanna burn it all away. Whisper to us what you want, and you can't change your mind next month. Begging for money with your cell phone streaming, then selling shirts how you hate capitalism. I think you don't know what you want. Your dictionary must be lost, screaming what you don't understand. You're part of someone else's plan. You say you hate
talent, you guys. Look her up at abbylondonmusic.com. All right. Wow, we're making noise. I hope they can hear us. Let's make another noise for freedom. You better believe Seattle's hearing us. Everyone around us, in the shopping center, in the buildings. We're the loudest thing in town. All right, it is my pleasure to introduce the speaker for our featured presentation. She's a friend of mine, Stacy Sprout, known more recently as Anastasia. She is a licensed psychotherapist from Seattle with 27 years of experience as a therapist and social worker in a variety of settings. From community mental health and hospitals to now private clinical practice, she conducts trainings on ethics for professionals and specializes in treating addictions and intimacy disorders. She wrote a book about her own healing journey titled Naked in Public, a memoir of recovery from sex addiction and other temporary insanities. You can find her video series on her YouTube channel called Sex Addiction in the News. She also created a professional training and consultation community focused on best practices for treating women with love, sex, and relationship addictions. More information available at her website at www.stacysprout.com. That's STACISPROUT.com. She's going to be speaking today. I want to introduce the title of her presentation. All right, you guys, Stacy, I'm delighted to have Stacy here speaking on a hot topic today. We hope everyone can hear us wherever they lie on the mask issue, whether they are for mask choice, mask enforcement, mask optional. And the title of her presentation is Masks Off. What's next? The courage to breathe in Seattle, Washington, USA. Let's all welcome Stacy Sprout.
Thank you. Okay, well, let's have one more round of applause for Abby London. She is so awesome. Yeah, Abby! Got my Abby merch on. All right. Masks off, what's next? The courage to breathe in Seattle, Washington. A little louder. All right, test, 1, 2, 3, test. Can you hear me in the back? All right, nope, they cannot hear me in the back. Anything we can do about that? All right, I'll try to be loud as I can. At midnight on March 11, 2022, the so-called mask mandate was repealed in Washington state, with this caveat by Governor Jay Inslee. We must be mindful that many in our communities remain vulnerable. Yes, the mask mandate has officially ended for now. Request for people to come closer.
Move in closer.
Move in closer. Yeah. So we can hear. Yeah, come a little closer. In fact, I happen to have this sign today. Thank you. Come on closer. We are not afraid. That's right. Okay, so the mask mandate has officially ended and many in our communities do remain vulnerable, but I don't see that vulnerability in the same way that Inslee means it. The wounds of COVID may no longer be so visible as many masks do come off. The pressure to get the jab reduces. The news shifts to war on foreign shores and restaurants stop checking papers at their doors. This happened to me in West Seattle. I was ejected from a table at New Luck Toy for not having a vaccine card, not allowed to order takeout. It was embarrassing. Yeah, make no mistake, the small and larger wounds inflicted over these last 2 years have not healed. Divisions in families and communities remain. And many of us, maybe all of us, have hidden scars that need immediate, loving attention. Let's take a quick show of hands. Who here has been rejected by loved ones, employers, in public for your private, personal health choices over the last 2 years related to masking, testing, or injections? Just look around. See that? These actions cause injuries to the heart. They cause grief, which I define as a process of transformation to move wounds into wisdom. But they can also cause stuck grief, which I call trauma. Such harm can render us confused over why we are being mistreated like this and what really happened. Here is my opinion. I believe this global coordinated COVID fear campaign has amplified citizen reactions to the point of mass delusional compliance, resulting from what my colleague, Dr. Robert Malone, calls mass formation psychosis. If you haven't heard of this, I encourage you to research it, but I'll quote it, a description here. What one observes with the mass hypnosis, and he's referring to the media, is that a large fraction of the population is completely unable to process new scientific data and facts, demonstrating that they have been misled about the effectiveness and adverse impacts of mandatory mask use, lockdowns, and genetic vaccines that cause people's bodies to make large amounts of biologically active coronavirus spike protein. These hypnotized by this process are unable to recognize the lies and misrepresentations they are being bombarded with on a daily basis and actively attack anyone who has the temerity to share information with them, which contradicts the propaganda that they have come to embrace. And for those whose families and social networks have been torn apart by this process, and who find that close relatives and friends have ghosted them because they question the officially endorsed truth and are actually following the scientific literature, this can be a source of deep anguish, sorrow, and psychological pain. But to heal this anguish, it's important to understand the nature of the injuries. We must not simply blame our fearful neighbors. Collective common sense did not just vanish in the wake of individual or family fear of dying or devastating illness over these last 2 years of COVID fraud. No, our judgment was intentionally targeted for override by a carefully crafted, organized campaign. Another way of saying this is that we have been victims of a criminal conspiracy. I am not afraid to use these words because they are the truth. We must not allow anyone to bully us into silencing the truth any longer, ever again. Yes, the powers that be used unrelenting fear tactics, and that worked for many. To quote children's rights activist Gabby Chong, creating anxiety and fear, inducing states of high suggestibility, and controlling relationships to assure loyalty and obedience are standard management techniques of the social body. But I think even more insidious than using fear and peer pressure of our herd mentality, the mass mind control psychological operations at play took the things that humans do best and used it to exploit us. They exploited our care for one another. The desire to be good neighbors, good parents, daughters, sons, grandchildren, employees, and friends have motivated many of our fellows to wear masks and consent to bodily invasive tests and experimental gene therapy. They exploited our hearts, our love. Though I have been frustrated at times with others' compliance, I cannot fault good people who are coerced and tricked into thinking their actions might protect others. I grieve their injuries too. I can say, however, that we must wake up to the harm being perpetrated in our community and not allow it to divide us and turn us on each other anymore. Here is my sign to contrast the stay 6 feet away mentality over the last 2 years. Come closer. Hugs, not masks. We are here today, and this is something that March for Freedom Washington has always stood for. We are here today to build genuine community, rebuild genuine community and common sense. And it takes common sense to conduct an accurate threat assessment. It is time to celebrate the gains that we've gained over this past year. However, it is not time to let down our vigilance completely. As I review the aftermath of these past 2 years, it is my opinion that the credible threat in our community is not a future risk of contracting COVID or another variant, but from another far more dangerous source. I believe the real threat to our vulnerability will be further imposed by the deceptive, malevolent agenda of those running the COVID fraud scandal, or whatever version is coming next. By this I mean those who have perpetrated government and corporate corruption, lies, and tyranny, those behind the coordinated, relentless, fear-mongering news stories that have indeed terrorized the populace, and for many, the coerced administration of a mass injection of poison, whose impacts are as of yet mostly unrevealed. Because sadly, I believe there will be many more tactics of division to come. Our fearless leader of the March on Washington, Victoria Palmer, who led this movement this year, introduced me with my professional credentials. Yes, I am a licensed psychotherapist in this state. I own a private practice and an educational media company, and I've supported brave people's healing for the past 27 years. But I'd like to share with you something else about my past experience that qualifies me even more to teach about the harmful operations currently underway. I was born into and grew up in a local network of covert organized crime. I lived in an underground military base, also called a DUMS for short, for 2 years, age 4 to 6, for training, which continued long after that. I am a survivor of extreme childhood abuse, which included child sex trafficking, pornographic exploitation, satanic ritual abuse, and trauma-based mind control. If you don't know what that is, there's a lot coming out about it all the time. As an insider in these networks, I saw firsthand the cunning malevolence behind the public front. And let me tell you, it is all about deception, control, and exploitation. They only care those involved in this mass mainstreaming of an ideology that can only be called evil have about our vulnerability is exploiting it. Disclosure about extreme childhood abuse, deep underground military bases, child sacrifice, and more has risen exponentially over the past 3 years. I was personally very inspired by Jeanette Archer's public declaration about her satanic abuse and others in a press conference on the steps of Windsor Castle in the UK. And the truth coming out of Australia whistleblowers will blow your socks off. So way to go, guys, in Australia, gals, all trans folks, they're really letting the truth out there. That's right. So this truth is causing local people to ask questions like, what was really going on in Seattle's underground when Big Bertha went down for a full year? What's really underneath the Bill and Melinda Gates building? Why are so many people involved in the covert leadership, like Gates himself, also connected to Jeffrey Epstein and Epstein Island and child pornography? We must ask these questions to anyone who wants to inject anything into our bodies. To begin to make sense of how so many people have been coerced into compliance over the past 2 years, I'm going to break something down for you that I unfortunately learned as a child being traumatized and then trained to hurt others in trauma-based mind control. What was done to me and then I was being made to do to others as a child has been mainstreamed for the entire world. And here's how it works. You take a human and you terrify them beyond rational thought. You isolate and immobilize them. You berate, bully, and coerce them. If that doesn't work, you try positive and negative reinforcement alternatively, and you promise rewards to comply. When you do this long and hard enough, Most people will do whatever you want. You can program them to think what you want and parrot your ideas and follow your commands. It is awful and it is effective. That is what this is. It is trauma-based mind control on a mass scale. We have been emotionally tortured to comply, and it's been horribly effective for many, but no more. There are other terms for this in the mental health field. You can study it more. The polyvagal theory, the insanity caused by social isolation and solitary confinement, and the Stockholm Syndrome. So let's take a very brief journey into these concepts before we wrap up and hear from Victoria. We'll start with the polyvagal theory, developed by Dr. Stephen Porges. It informs us that humans have not just one, but three key branches of our nervous system. How we react to things depends on the level of safety or threat that we perceive. These modes of responding can be divided into three: the safe response, something that is threatening but not life-threatening, or a life-threatening danger, 1, 2, and 3. So you can think about that as imagining a stop sign or a stoplight that's upside down. So you've got green on the top, yellow in the middle, and red on the bottom. So that's the human branches of the nervous system. It's called polyvagal because it's referencing the vagus nerve that goes up and down our spine. The COVID danger was represented in public health as a life-threatening condition or a red level danger from the very start. Normally, humans cope to this level of threat by seeking safety through connection. And we would naturally turn to our loved ones to gather and make sense of what was happening for reassurance. This is how our emotional immune system works. We're always trying to get back to green or safety, but then you kick in the isolation and masking policies. So you have the overwhelming red level threat, and then you isolate humans. And this damaged the form of support because we became so fearful with one another. We rely on cues to connect: eye contact, facial expressions, words in friendly and kind tones, loving touch and body language, leaning in. Masks cover most of that up, and the oxymoronic term social distancing did the rest to keep us without comfort, hugs, and encouragement when we needed it most. This was deliberate. When enough connection in times of threat is not available, humans drop into the yellow light zone, which is to mobilize or move to respond to the threat. This is the fight or flight reaction. Most of us here and look around are natural fighters. Many stood up. I will not comply, she says. Many stood up and had their voices. They declined to enter the mass psychosis. They fought legal and vocational battles for common sense and freedom. So please give yourself a hand. When humans mobilize in their own defense, they are far healthier than the third option, which is freeze. This option of our nervous system is to extreme threat in the red light category is often accompanied by what we call appease, freeze and appease. That is the compliance that we are seeing in our fellows. They are frozen in terror and they are going along with the threat. This kind of freezing depletes our health and immune systems even more. In other words, going along with the mandates has actually reduced health and mental health. We are still living in a traumatized community plagued by exaggerated fear, division, hostility, and despair, and I fear that many are suffering actively from what in the mental health field we call Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome is a psychological defense against overwhelming terror, where the captive begins to identify closely with his or her captors, as well as their agenda or demands. So you can see you've got the stoplight. You terrify people into the red. You don't allow them to connect, to bump up into the yellow or green. You prolong this for a long time, and then you just keep at it over and over and over, and you have people who are stuck in the red, freeze, appease, isolation, and then they start bonding with their captors, buying into the agenda, and joining in on the attack. You can read more about the Stockholm Syndrome in a story of the Stanford prison experiment online. Just look that up. We see this with bullies and their victims all the time. As I said, if you don't get support in community, it's easy to move into freeze and appease. So, thank you again for being here and taking a stand for what you believe. It is healing for depression and anxiety, and it prevents post-traumatic stress disorder. Yes. Way to go. Got a drum. Marching helps our mental health. So, what is next? This part of my talk is adapted from and inspired by Lisa Renee of the website www.energeticsynthesis.com. She has amazing blog entries. She's an amazing truth teller, recovery sister, and mentor of mine. We must prepare in the coming months for the possibility of more vaccine-related injuries. The outer environment is increasing with vax people who are suffering more sudden physical and mental and emotional impairments. Great changes are to come from disclosure to the extent of the malevolence behind this agenda. The poisons from the vaccines may cause mental fracturing, memory problems, and confusion in those who have taken them. We must consciously choose how we will best respond to difficult situations that involve interacting with anyone with mental or emotional impairments. Many will be unable to recognize the truth nor comprehend the magnitude of corruption and betrayal behind the COVID machine, and will enter or stay in the delusion of the profoundly traumatized. By contrast, we must enter and maintain a state as much as we can of love. Love for ourselves and love for those among us who are traumatized and stuck. We must take care of our minds, our hearts, and our bodies. We are warriors serving the light of truth, and we should not take others' reactions personally when they are overcome by fear and unable to comprehend what is really going on. Choose love over fear or anger. Be guided by our hearts. Let us band together to usher in a new beginning of co-creation, of protection, support, and meaningful community.
Right. Yes. Yes.
This may at times mean forming smaller societies within the larger one, as many of us have done this year. Timing is everything. We must open our minds and meditate on exactly where we are supposed to be and what we are called to do in the coming year and years. Most important, we must follow the principles of ethical conduct. As often as possible, we must take immediate measures to restore the powerful medicine of our society, the medicine of smiling faces, hugs, and gatherings, of warm welcomes, and as my sign says, come closer, not stay away. We must put the unity back in community. The antidote to the fatal outcomes of isolation policies are in-person connection. We need real FaceTime. I am grateful to see the mandates dropped finally. But I do want to end with this. All current government leadership that cannot see and be moved by the escalating socioeconomic suffering and mortality risk of the people they are entrusted to support and serve, I hold a vision that the community can act independently and rise up and find the strength to get anyone who will not consider and act on common sense out of office. They do not deserve power if they are going to corrupt it. So, in closing, I say one more time, thank you for being here. Thank you for mobilizing into your healthy fight response. We are not violent. We are simply standing up for our rights and moving moving through the Seattle, through the energy of Seattle. Victoria's going to talk more about that. And one last thing I'll say in terms of my mobilization. Victoria Palmer for governor!
Well, thank you, Stacy. Ready? You guys, let's have another round of applause for Stacy Sprout. That was amazing.
Yeah.
I did not pay her for that endorsement. All right, before I speak, just some of the ground rules for the march, because we'll be starting that once I'm done here. All of the signs along here are free to be picked up and carried. We encourage people to pick up signs that mean something to them. And then we will be marching starting that way, and we're just going to be doing a short circle, just one circle today. The police will be escorting us for safety, so we have a great route.
Haven't seen police do that in forever.
The main ground rule is no engagement with any counter protesters, you guys. We win because we're here. We don't need to prove anything else beyond that.
Yes, yes, that's right.
All right, you guys. All right, so I am Victoria Palmer of the March for Freedom, Washington. I see so many familiar faces here. I know most of you guys. This is awesome. Thank you for coming out today. Yeah, some of you have been here every time. Thank you, guys. This is community. This is community. Let me share a bit about this misunderstanding about the cancellation, because we are not canceled. We're here. My co-organizer, Casey with Wake Up Wash State, she was concerned over the threats. She lives outside of the city, so it was a little scary for her. So she canceled our program. I made it clear, we're not canceled. I'm going to show up.
That's right.
And I'm going to invite the entire community to show up.
Yes. Yes.
But you know how social media can go? A post gets on social media and then it gets picked up by other media, and soon it spreads and people don't know what to think.
Don't trust media.
Yes. We learned that. Exactly. But here we are, you guys. We've got a great turnout. Look at you guys. You are the brave face of freedom that's here to stand. Give yourselves a round of applause. And look at us, you guys. We come from all sorts of backgrounds, all ethnic backgrounds, religious backgrounds, socio-economic backgrounds. You guys, we all have our differences. We can celebrate those. But when it comes to an assault on our freedoms, like we're facing, we got each other's backs. We stand united. Even these guys counter-protesting us. I mean, honestly, they have a good heart, but they've fallen for lies somewhere along the line. So they're not our enemy. All right, so I'm here to share an overview of the pushback in Washington State, because that is why the COVID mandates are ending. It has nothing to do with COVID rates. It's pushback. It's you. It's me. It's everyone in this state pushing back. I mean, let's be honest. COVID rates shot up at the beginning of the year, and then they started to tank all of a sudden. Or was it just public opinion pushing back?
Yeah, that's right.
It was pretty fishy why they had to end so quickly in Washington State.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe it was a good dose of the spirit of freedom as ignited by the... Yeah. I think the Canadian truckers blockading Ottawa had something to do with it, don't you? Yeah. We're igniting the spirit of freedom and the fear of God in the governors, you know? Oh, I think it woke up the West Coast governors pretty quickly.
Yes.
But I will say, from my place here on the ground, looking up, I have seen people all over the state of Washington standing up to push back. So we are in no small measure the reason why the COVID mandates are ending and relaxing early. Individuals taking action to wave signs all around the state, people speaking up at school board meetings. This is a combined effort of everyone standing up. But I do want to give special attention to certain groups that I know have made a tremendous impact. And I'm only speaking from my point here in Seattle, mostly for Western Washington, because Eastern Washington, it can take care of itself. No issue there.
Yeah.
All right, so we've had groups that are keeping an eye on the legal system, like Washingtonians for Change. You guys, let's hear it for Washingtonians for Change. Let me tell you, those guys are watchdogs. You got to hook up with them if you want to know what's going on in that legislature, because they've got their eye on it. We've got friends who are filing lawsuits against Inslee and the other perpetrators of this with our friends at the Silent Majority Foundation, keeping Inslee on his toes. We've got a group like the Washington Parents Alliance using, some of you guys are here today. They sent documents into the school districts, which really had an impact. And of course, we've got the Washington Civil Rights Council. Standing up for employee rights against the workplace mandates. Washington Civil Rights Council, you guys, let's give them a round of applause. We've saved thousands of jobs for employees. Thousands of jobs across the state of Washington. And let me give a special nod to Louis Ewing, who made the documents for WAPA and for WCRC. He's not here today, but let's give him a round of applause. And then last but not least, you guys, I'm going to acknowledge the efforts of the March for Freedom, which is myself, and I've got a great crew. You can see us in t-shirts and people who have come out with us every time. March for Freedom, we are the boots on the ground in Seattle, let me tell you. We have been influencing public opinion here in Seattle. And again, public opinion is what ended the mandates. We have, in this 1 year of marching, we have marched 20 times in the Seattle area and neighboring cities. But overall, in the 2 years since COVID started, we have been out on the streets of Seattle and around Seattle 200 times. So believe me, people have seen our signs. I have gotten a lot of feedback. Oh, I saw you on the freeway, or oh yeah, I saw you marching. So people have seen our signs. And I think, so you guys, tons of other groups. You guys, this is a combined effort. I know there are so many people pushing back against this, and everyone that has spoken their mind at a restaurant or someplace that you tried to go to and you questioned their mask policy or vax policy. You guys, this is a team effort. And you guys, let's take a minute to just really acknowledge that we had an effect on the mandates. And I say that because, there's all sorts of rumors. Sure, mandates could come back in the fall. Whatever. The point is that we had an impact once. We can have an impact again.
Yes.
Enjoy your summer. Actually, it's forecast to be pretty light on the mandates.
Good.
Okay, so let's talk specifically. I want to shed some light on what we call cancel culture, because we were the victims of it recently. Saying that we were canceled, saying that we couldn't go out on, we couldn't join here because of a threat that was brewing on the internet. Well, I'm going to tell you something, you guys. That's why we stand here, is because if they could cancel us once, they could cancel us again. But now we called them out we stood our grounds. We are here so that they would have to show their face. They can't just be this intimidating internet threat. And so going forward, this is the face of free speech. We're going to be here when we want to be here, and we're not going to be intimidating into indefinite lockdown. I think part of the media trouble we had is that maybe we stepped on the toes of the people pushing the Seattle is dying agenda. We've been bringing attention to these issues for 2 years now. Maybe Seattle is coming back to life. It's kind of interesting how as soon as the COVID story dies down, the gun violence in Seattle starts to ramp up in the media. Isn't that a curious coincidence, huh? You guys, the media were not our friend with COVID. They're not our friend with the violence and the story of Seattle. So you guys, let's question the media. Yeah. All right.
Dessert, don't you want to interview me? Let's have a trended chat.
All right, you guys, we're gonna get started marching soon, but let me just put a final word in here that you guys, we've made it this far. It's actually really incredible to think how far we've come in 2.5 months. I mean, look around you. We are the solution. We are the grassroots pushback that has made an impact on these COVID mandates. Yeah. We will continue to be the solution.
No.
Like Stacy mentioned, building community, building meaningful community, people that you can actually call on to help. That's what makes us. And there is more trouble in the future. We're going to have to help people recover from what they've experienced with the masks and the vaccines. It's going to call upon each of us to be the bigger person in this, to heal wounds, both physically and relationships. It's going to call upon truly the resilience of the human spirit and our capacity for an unconditional love. Both for people in our families, people in our communities, businesses that may have given you trouble. See if you can heal those wounds. We're not going to cause trouble for businesses that continue to have a mask policy because, now there's plenty of restaurants you can go to, but you can continue to educate them, continue to speak to them, and help them get over their fear. Because let's take a look at this, you guys. The fear of COVID that a lot of these people are acting under, let's let them see through that and see that maybe that risk isn't there. Kind of like the risks that we were threatened with maybe aren't as bad as they want us to think. Maybe the media is actually the media is the virus. Yeah, let's end on that, you guys. Let's hear it for freedom. All right, you guys, that is it for me. Let's take a victory for freedom with this, you guys. Freedom wins. We're going to be running the banner. Freedom wins. We're going to be marching. Pick up your stuff. We don't want to leave anything here, so take it with you, or we can get it in the truck. But let's pack up and march.
Which one?
Like the only one that's still black.
Oh yeah, the one that walked by?
They waved at me.
Stand by redacted and redacted. That's kind of funny. Oh. Yeah, I miss Villain as well. Crushing it. The thing is, I don't think Villain would be here today, would be at this event today. I think he'd be in Woodland in support of Tiny with Robert. Because knowing the kind of person that Villain was, that's where he would be. Oh, Antifa and Black Bloc. Excuse me.
All right, are we ready? We're getting ready. Let's go, ready. Get ready to march.
Underneath the building of the Gates Foundation. Person that 2, 4, 6, 8. You are still responsible for it. There's not one person standing off the stage. That means you are all complicit. 2, 4, 6, 8. If she tried that a little bit, Montes, she would have gotten food off the stage. 2, 4, 6, 8. That's what it is. Instead of you people getting
Yeah, trust me, I know that.
2, 4, 6.
I'm pretty sure there's quite a few of them.
2, 4, 6, 8. Doesn't freedom feel great? 2, 4, 6, 8. Doesn't freedom feel great? 2, 4, 6, 8. The mandate is because of all of us. Doesn't freedom feel great?
Yeah, there are definitely people are good. Oh, yep. I know those boots. I saw them in the black block.
We're only here for freedom. You're human rights and freedom. You're number one. The only thing that works is if you guys want to join our march, you should. We're going to go this way towards Westlake. Please join our march. We need your number.
Hey, Katie! Mr. Bill says hi! Hello! Say hi, Mr. Bill! Say hi, Katie! Good job, There you go, Mr. Bill.
I got COVID money to lie to you. Remember that. Millions of dollars for lying to you. It's all incentivized. It's all weaponized democracy. You have to realize this. Every single ad is pharma.
No, Primetime is not here at all. He's probably still recovering from his surgery.
Show us your smiles, everybody! Be free, freedom!
so I'm gonna say this once. If anyone says punch anyone on here, I will ban you. So just to let you know ahead of time, anything that it can be construed as calling for violence, I will ban you because I don't want to get a strike on my channel. So do me a favor and yourself a favor and do not say punch anybody. Do me that favor and I will not ban you from the chat. No, Mr. Bill, I don't dance. Not even when I'm supposed to dance, I don't.
No more mandate. Just say no. 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 Freedom works! Now you know! Hey, hey!
So my last day, I believe, will be April 11th. Don't worry, I'm not gonna forget anyone that's watched and helped out. Like I said, I'm just gonna stop live streaming. I'm gonna try to continue writing some columns on my Substack. Thank you, Bumbly, for that comment.
Freedom will not be canceled! Take the spirit of freedom wherever you go! And let these politicians hear about it! You better believe Jay Inslee's gonna hear about today! Alright, you guys, let's bring it home! Let's make some noise for
Antifa's still here, they're just not in Black Bloc. I'm gonna miss you too, Snooks.
No more mandates! Just say no! 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 No more mandates! Just say no!
They're not legal. They're illegal. They're illegal. They're illegal. They're
Oh wow, that's always lovely.
I feel like asking people like that, hey, you want that we were worried about?
Yes, Antifa is filming people in masks. Oh, sorry. Antifa all in masks. Filming.
Thank you everybody for showing up and being unafraid of Antifa, unafraid of the totalitarians.
Alright, well, I'm going to sign off very quickly. Alright, everybody, that was today's event here in Seattle, Washington. I hope everyone had a good time. And by the way, hold on, let me bring this up. I will be in DC on April 10th and 11th for this event. Oh, let me get that over. Whatever. By the way, you can see it right there. It's an anti-war protest happening on April 10th in our nation's capital. I will be there. I'll be in DC for 4 days. Obviously, arriving the day before, streaming the event on the 10th, and another event the very next day on April 11th. And the April 11th one is a Free Julian Assange protest. The Free Julian Assange protest is going to happen outside the Justice Department, and I will also be there for that. And then, obviously, my 4th day, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave Washington. So that's what's happening then, and those will be my last events I'm covering. And I hope to see y'all then. All right, everyone, have a good day. Everyone, thank you for the participation in the chat and for viewing me and for liking and sharing my video. Peace out. Free Press Media out.